Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to this channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and on my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play those karmic themes, how you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting who you're attracting, and what you can do to shapeshift the energy since there's many different realities that play out at one time. Now, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box below, along with my website and my group coaching that is coming at the end of the month. I thought that it was going to be the 1st of May. My apologies. We're looking at the end of May, the launch of Vidme, which is going to be the best platform. It's a combination between Netflix, YouTube, and Mind Valley, and it's 35 bucks a month. You get my coaching, which my group coaching, where I do inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and I teach all the healing modalities to help you heal the effects of trauma. And you get my Transforming Trauma podcast, and you get hundreds of other people's content. And if you want to put your own content up, it's a platform that you can. And it's a platform that you can make money. So it's a win, 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 win straight across the board. You can actually have the platform pay for itself a million times over again if you work it properly. So it's really exciting times how, social media is changing, and it's a good thing. It allows us content creators to stay afloat, and that's a beautiful thing. So I just wanted to share that link is going to be in the description box as well. So if you're someone that's been looking for the group coaching, it's very interactive. It's done with oracle cards. And yes, you get a lot of PDF exercises that we do and healing exercises, but it's more fun because it's more in a group atmosphere and everyone learns from everybody as the group grows. It's a collective thing. So I just wanted to, again, put that out there. I'm really excited about it. I don't know if you could tell. Because it's more than just why this person did what they did. It's like we get to really healing change. And I guess, over time, like these readings, like if you've been dealing with the person that has been wearing away at your self-esteem because they don't know what they want, or they don't, they give mixed messages. We don't really realize how much it takes us out of our power, how it really diminishes our self-worth. And then we begin to live from that narrow and limited perception. And then we don't like what our life looks like. And we definitely don't like what the relationship looks like. So we want to break the karmic cycles that keep us stuck in a place of disempowerment, a place of fear. Now, you know the deal. You saw that. It just kind of flipped over. So we have to take it because it did that. It landed face down. So I'm going to pull another one just because, I don't know, I feel like we weren't shuffling enough for it to do that, but it had to mean something because everything means something. So in the psychic realm, anyway, it does. Everything means something. There's no coincidences. So again, that one's that one is permissive, which means I could take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. And then we're gonna pull one from this deck, and then we'll flip over the mystery card. Perfectionist. Vanity. Well, ain't that just says everything right there. Okay. So someone's acting like they don't care about what's happening in their life because they care a lot about their appearance, that they want to be seen as perfect. So you might be in separation from someone that said that they were leaving somebody, but hasn't really 100% left because they don't want to look like the bad guy, is what I'm feeling. I also feel like they act like what's happening to them is not affecting their life, but it is. Because this person cares a lot about what other people perceive about them. And we've been getting storylines like that lately. So, but I feel like at the thick of it, this person's world may be really falling apart right now as we speak. And they would be going off to work and acting like nothing's happening. They would be going through their life the way that they always do, like just pretending that it's not happening, but it's killing them inside. Know that. They do know what's happening, but they care more about what other people are going to think than about what's really actually happening. Almost like they would be like, if someone asked them, they'd be like, yeah, I'm happy that I lost my job and my house and I'm like homeless now. Yeah, I'm really happy. Like, where saving face, like this was my choice, completely my choice to be homeless, completely my choice to lose my job, my company, my business, my family, my children, whatever major like upheaval, this person's acting like they don't really care, is what I'm trying to say. But they're also not reaching out to you. You're not talking to this person. You're not doing, and it's mainly because this person tends to, that's their default mechanism too. It's like, because I feel like you've been in separation with this person. They, again, act like they don't give a shit, and they care a lot about what people are going to perceive about them. All right. So I'm not going to channel, even though actually am feeling like, sorry, I guess I should channel. I'm feeling almost like also that, if you were easy, this person would have put more effort in. But because you are on a different vibration than them, they didn't really know how to approach it because they can't manipulate you. They can't, gaslight you. They can't, you're too, you're too like intuitive. And then there's this emotional connection that they have with you that they know that they're not going to be able to like keep a boundary on. So it's just easier not to deal with you, is what I feel too. Again, because it's all about saving face. I don't know why I felt that, but we're going to see why. Capped out. I don't feel involved in any regarding of your life. My opinion doesn't matter. And that's what I'm saying. Like this is your triggers, right? The whole relationship trigger of what this person does. It's like, they didn't really let me in ever. And then gaslighting you, like still from afar, still trying to gaslight you. Because it's not like they didn't want to keep you in their life. They did. They just wanted to on their terms, which meant really not giving you that much. So what would happen is that, you'd say, oh, let's meet up for lunch or let's meet up for dinner. And they'd say, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like as the time got closer, they'd be like, I never agreed to that. Or no, I said that I had something else that I needed to do. It was always like, let's change the date, or no, you misunderstood the date. And just gaslighting where intuitively you knew that this person's lying. You're like, they're lying to me. And you were too strong for them. So that's really why they kept you out more. It's not like they didn't try to give you a little bit. Spirit said, oh, they tried to gaslight, but it didn't work. You were too strong for them. So the only way that they could deal with you was to keep you out of their business. Because if you really saw who they were, you probably wouldn't have liked them. Assumptions, again, where they wanted you to assume a lot about them. But then the irony is that this person assumed a lot about you, meaning, oh, you have such strong feelings for me, you're not going to go anywhere. And, oh, well, they thought that I was going to stay home. So when I went out and they flipped out because, I'm not playing the same game that they want me to play, pretty much. They have two sets of rules and they want me to play their game, but I decide to, go out and they flip out, assuming that I'm just going to sit home and act a certain way and be there for them because I have feelings for them while, ignoring the fact that you're gaslighting me and keeping me out of your life. You're keeping it real surface. So it's like almost like just kind of like jerking you around, and then it's like we're gonna pull one more, which is like argument again, like this person would actually, instead of being able to communicate with you, they get into an argument, and when they would get irritated or triggered by you, and then expect you to soothe them on top of it. And then I feel like sometimes if you weren't getting an answer from them in order to try and make the relationship kind of work and to get answers out of them, you would get into an argument to try to get them to soothe you. Where it's like, and that's because this person wasn't transparent with the relationship. So you were like, I don't really know where I stand in this relationship. And it's because they weren't giving you a spot, but they expected you to give them a spot. And that's where they saw that they were seeing that they had a problem. And because they kept having a problem with that, you kept getting punished. And that was the gaslighting and the stonewalling and just, again, manipulation. To get those fell out, we have to take them. Okay, so the next socialist, something big is going to happen. This person's not happy because of their karmic. It's like they themselves are karmic. They have behaviors and they surround themselves with people and situations, and they can no longer manipulate. I feel like this person was a mind manipulator for every person, every place where they go. They always had the upper hand. This person said they were leaving a situation, and I feel like they were supposed to leave, and then they kind of just reneged and then didn't tell you anything about it. And then acted like, well, they didn't care. And so, but the truth of the matter is they're being controlled now by people and situations. And that's why, again, they don't see a way out, but that's why they're acting like they don't care. That's why they're acting like, again, like, oh, I don't care. They're acting permissive, as we said earlier, in order for their appearance, right? Because they don't want to be seen as something less than like perfect. But I feel like this person was anything but perfect. And I feel like everyone that's surrounding them right now is like making them pay. So if they worked at a business, they got thrown out of their business. If they were married, and again, living like with the whole family threw them out. It's like everybody, this person's lonely right now. So they're in a different space. But when they were dealing with you, they were jerking you around and they didn't care. Almost like they thought that they were too big to fail. Words have hurt me in the past, and that's why I fear talking to you. But really, the truth of the matter is that this person, yes, in the past, they wind up with people because they're never transparent in the relationship. So people wind up, trying to figure out what's going on in the relationship because this person's vague. And so they never really know what they want. And so it's easier for them not to say anything because the chances of them triggering somebody is going to be 100% when you're dealing with a person that doesn't know what they want, but they're expecting you to be there and give it 100% and give it all, but then have them show up sometimes when they feel like it and just giving you whatever they fucking feel like giving you. And then sometimes just not showing up for you, just emotionally not available. For this person to have their entire life fall apart, it's not because their entire life was evil. It's this person is the main equation in every incident. And we see, instead of them asking for forgiveness or like trying to like fix their situation, they're like, again, pissing people off even more because they're acting like they don't care. So it's a default mechanism. It's like they don't, like they're not mature enough to be able to like really deal. So we have to say, well, what are they doing and what are they going to do if they're going to do anything? So what we see is that, well, there's a lot of projection, and here we are again, perfectionism, where like this person is bound to people that they are karmic, but I don't believe that the relationships with all these people were like horrible forever. I feel like they were like family, almost like close to family. But what wound up happening is that, you know, they got tired of this person's bullshit. Like if they worked at a business, maybe coming in when they felt like it, maybe doing half-ass work, but just acting like they were too big to fail, and everyone got tired of it. It was that you're not showing up. You're not showing up emotionally. You're not showing up physically. This person might even have addiction problems, I'm feeling. So again, they're stuck in patterns of like that they inherited from parents. So they might even be kids, again, still stuck with a karmic, somebody that they're not interested in. Not interested in. They were on their way out of that situation. They wound up staying. And I feel like they were tricked into staying. And I feel like everybody turned on this person. So again, they're acting like they don't give a shit about it. So if you're not feeling them, it's because their entire life is falling apart right now. And they're too worried about, again, their image. And keep seeing it. Is there a past life connection with you? Yes, there is. But this person's so fearful. And they're fearful because that karmic is wiping the floor with them right now. It's like, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. You think whatever you did, whoever you thought you were, well, let me tell you something, you're gonna pay. And they got like I said, not just themselves, but turned a lot of people against them. So if it was a job, if it was a house, if it was family, whatever, it's like this person's life as they knew it is no longer. They're cared more about their feelings of, not their feelings of how they look than the connection between you and them right now at this very moment. Like they would be mortified if you knew what was going on in their life. It's again that they're reliving trauma. It's like, so when you say what's going on in their life, nothing. It's like they're stuck in stupid, they're stuck in trauma, they're stuck in fear, they're stuck. And it's like there's this fear of death, like almost like they're gonna die. And they like the anxiety is so bad. And it's because their entire life is falling apart right now as we speak. And so they don't know. And so there's a lack of money. So what we're seeing is that this person is really like living their karma, as I said. So again, have major trust issues. Now, major trust issues because this person actually feels betrayed by these people when really, I feel like these people put up with a lot of shit. They put up with a lot of shit. And, like I said, it could have been bad work. It could have been like just taking advantage of a company. You can't have a company and think that you're gonna or do something with a bunch of people, whatever that is. And then, come in half-assed. Now you're screwing not just with your own, you're screwing with everybody else's. And so there's all this drama going on, and this person is getting humiliated, but they're trying to save face. So that's where their mind is at, where what they're doing right now, they're not doing anything. They're living their trauma. They're living their trauma. Well, look at some hidden truths just because, hey, when we push all this craziness aside, because that's what we see right now, just like this person's in a shit show. It's like in a shit show that they created, but nevertheless, they're not in a space of like romance at all. They're in a state of survival. We have to say, if we push that aside, what are the hidden truths that this person feels about you? Just because when we get a story like this, it's like it didn't tell us anything except for this person like acted like they were leaving and then didn't leave for whatever reason. And possibly because of the business, possibly because of again family. I don't know, getting talked into, but they got tricked is what I feel. And so, like I said, this person's life has fallen apart. finding out the truth crushed me. And it's like, that what do they feel about you? Well, I feel like, this person needed a buffer. They needed a buffer, and a buffer would have been somebody that the focus wouldn't have been so much onto them. So if they were with you because you cared so much about them, again, then the focus would have been on you, I believe, but you didn't do that. And so I feel like this person is thinking that you don't really care about them as much because they usually get somebody. I feel like this person's lived this karmic cycle a few times, and so they usually have a person, like I said, and that didn't happen. So they had to eat the full karma. And I also feel like this person is like not even thinking about you again, because what they're thinking about is like everybody, everybody in there, like that this person considered family, like has stabbed them in the back. So it's almost like finding out the truth of that. Like these people hate me as much that you possibly hate me as much is crushing this person. It's like because everybody collectively, and you are contributing to that. So that's what Spirit's saying. It's like you are contributing to the fact that with all these people, it's like this person's lumping you in with all these people that stabbed them in the back because you're not talking to them because of how they treated you. But really, all of you are making this person look at themselves. And again, to awaken to like that. I wish I could share my good news with you. This person is changing, obviously, which understand there's a tower moment going on. This person doesn't have a choice but to make changes in their life. I think that they're going to try and be a better person, but they know that they shouldn't come towards you. They're not settled. They're going through a shit show. So I feel like they look back on the connection and they say like, oh, I should have handled that better. I didn't handle that well. Like I was a jerk. I was in the worst energy of myself. I wasn't happy. I wasn't, this person is healing, whether they want to or not. And it's because their whole life is falling apart. I want you. So there's still this passion. There's still this passion. If we clear away all this shit, there's still this passion. But we don't know how long it's going to take for them to actually clear away all this shit, first of all. And, you know, we can say after, but again, things would change. But I'm going to pull like two cards and just see. Um, for a while, this person's not going to even have the resources they feel like to like make the relationship actually work after how they treated you and everything. They don't really even feel like again they're going to need like resources, money. I feel like again that their life is falling apart. They have to build back from nothing. So in that, there's a little bit of they're not going to come back for a long period of time, and it's uncertain at this time. And it's uncertain at this time, mainly because this person may not have enough. They might not get to you on time. They don't know. Their life is falling apart. They're so messed up. But what they're going to do. But do they still have attraction? Yeah. Do they have that never went away just because they didn't treat you well? So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Because you're a miracle. What comes into your life? Well, let's see. And the first part out is lies and secrets. And then there's joy. And then there's vulnerability. There's gifts, discipline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. And then there is disassociation. That took a weird turn. And then oppression. Okay. So there was trauma. It's not like there wasn't. And I just feel like whenever we see this card, this is like such a offensive card because I mean, person has their head on their foot. And if you see like the person that's standing next to, this person is like they're not holding their, and it's almost like I feel like they have their hand on their shoulder. I don't get the feeling like it's a you stay there. It's more like it's a good job what you're doing, good job. And the kid doesn't even really look happy about what they're doing. And so it's like I said, and kind of like what's happening to this person, that they're surrounded by people that are really like keeping them down. And they may not even want to keep them down, but they feel like they have to. Well, I feel like you grew up in an environment where someone also tried to oppress you and they did it rudely to the point that, they stole your joy. They stole your joy. You were definitely not allowed to be vulnerable. You didn't feel safe enough to feel vulnerable. And I know that because, again, the disassociation, the detachment, and that's where your gifts were, your psychic ability. But you were made to live like a lie in secret. Again, and the lie is that there was something wrong with you, that you didn't have enough, that you weren't good enough, that you were made to be kept down. Like people didn't like maybe your sensitivity, or they didn't like your psychic ability, or they didn't like an aspect about you, and they kept you down and made you lie and stole your joy. And so no one can steal what's yours, though. And so the child that survives thrives. So when you have parent that literally keeps you down, or again, maybe the parent made the other siblings do that. So maybe you were a stepchild, or maybe you were just the black sheep, where one parent had to bully one of the children in order to feel good about themselves and used to pin the children against each other. That happened in my house. So I know that that happens. And there's an energy here, though. This figure here bothers me because I just feel like they're like it's good that you're doing this. That's the vibe that I get. And because the kid doesn't look happy about doing it. And this kid is, like I said, is on the ground. And so when we grow up in a place of survival, because our environment, we can't trust our environment because our siblings are being conditioned by, you know, toxic parent, an angry parent, it becomes a landscape where it's every man for themselves. It becomes a war zone. And so you weren't focused on creating yourself. You didn't discipline yourself enough to create a soul's path or a life's purpose because you were too busy surviving, worried about, because this is not just a suppression. Like I'm gonna oppress you. And oppression is done forcefully. It's done negatively. It's done manipulatively. It's done where, again, people are trying to create the environment to make you perceive that there's something wrong with you, but then you begin to walk from that level of consciousness because of that. And so, again, you live the lie. It's a secret, but you're living a lie. And it's because of the environment, and the spirit knows. The Holy Spirit knows. So in order to survive, our psyche says it's time to detach. It's like, so it's almost like we're watching somebody else go through the experience. We don't have a feeling one way or the other about it because the trauma is bad, but it's betrayal at such a young age where, of course, you wind up with a person that is actually pretty much going through the same thing now, where they're suppressed, like they keep repeating that. So usually if we grow up in an environment where we were oppressed, it's also we were shamed, we were, there's psychological and emotional ways that people keep people down. They don't physically keep them down, it's psychological. But how that plays out in relationships is disassociation means that you're going to wind up with a person that never shows up for you because you're not fully present. That's number one. Number two, it's also because of the trauma that you experienced growing up with people that acted like they didn't really care, didn't act like they were your siblings, didn't act like they were your parents. Again, they acted more like enemies. So again, staying in that constant place of survival, it changes the body. It dumps excess cortisol and other hormones, stress hormones, the body. And so we're no longer present. We're no longer able to really maneuver our life. And that's why I said lies and secrecy it's like, it's a lie. It's like you're being gaslighted. The environment is making you perceive that there's something wrong with you when there's nothing wrong with you, but they're creating that environment so that everybody in the environment perceives that of you in order for you to walk that from that level of consciousness. So I feel like you live that experience. You're actually watching this person go through that experience. And I feel like if you would have been with this person, the people in the environment would have taken out a lot of their wrath onto you. And that would have kept you stuck in a karmic cycle. But that's not what happened because you were like, you know, you already saw you're keeping me out. Like you never really gave me enough. But it just goes to show that this person was able to just normally give that little tiny breadcrumb and get people to do whatever they wanted. They misjudged you. And that's really like what happened. So being that you didn't do that, we always have to say, how do you transmute the energy? Because if this person's not going to be in that space, and the shame and spirit doesn't want you to feel oppressed or live the lie. You're supposed to be able to be vulnerable, to feel safe. In order to create real intimacy, we have to feel safe. In order to be fully grounded in our physical body, we have to feel safe. So spirit says you always can start by finding your joy, right? I mean, our passion, things that make us happy. That's number one. But it's also, spirit said that like you learned how to flow with grace, navigating through difficulties. That learn that peace was something that you found within inside of yourself. And where this person expected you to for them to be able to disrupt your peace. Well, I feel like your family thought that too. And because after a while they couldn't do anything. The only thing that they could do was psychologically and emotionally try to manipulate you. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't disrupt your peace. So you're so strong. And understand it's the people that wanted to disrupt your peace that they focus so much on that none of those people have peace in your life, in their life. See, because that's how it works. If you're holding on to an energy, wishing someone bad, if that person doesn't get bad, you get bad because that's what you're focused on. You want to perceive somebody to have lack. Well, now you have lack. It's like you're a mirror of who and what comes out. And so you learned it wasn't up to those people to define you. It's up to yourself. And just the same with this person. Like, and spirit said you had already passed the lesson before, but we get it a lot of times because of that emotional imprint is still on the subconscious mind. It was traumatic. And you didn't see yourself differently. You didn't embody the new consciousness. So maybe you had people come into your life and it used to like really affect you. Like this time it didn't affect you. It's like, and spirit says, now take bold action. Just take a step that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Like act decisively, but you'll be rewarded, meaning quantum jump into a new reality. Because this reality was very similar to the reality that you grew up in. And that was, again, those people were sick. Those people need healing. And this person, whether they want to or not, they're in this state of healing. Because when tower moment hits, it's like the universe comes in and says, enough. It's time for me to collect my due. It's like only going to let you go so far without actually paying the piper. Take a leap of faith. Take bold steps, even if the path is not visible. Risks are rewarding, is what Spirit keeps saying. It's like it's time to see yourself differently. It's time to embody a new consciousness so you can attract the love and the abundance that you deserve and understand you're on the right path. People will try and perceive that you're on the wrong path and that you're selfish and this and that when you do what's best for you. But Spirit says, always do what's best for you. Be true to you. Understand you're on the right path, even if it's not most traveled. It's like you're creating your own way because God always creates a way where there is no way just for you. No one can stop you. Only you can stop you. Your family tried to stop you by oppressing you, and then this person tried to make you settle for less. So you will continue to get that karmic lesson. The only difference is it's not going to affect you because when you know your worth, you attract people and situations that are fulfilling to you, that sustain you. So those people don't matter. And when they don't get any reaction and they can't affect you, they just fall out of your life. They can't take advantage. If anything, if they watch you or see you, they get angry, they get triggered because they say, you shouldn't have that life. You shouldn't be happy. So Spirit says, shine your light, be happy. Let it kill them. And it's again because if they see you happy and you're living your best life, it'll irritate them. And you didn't have to do anything. All you had to do was live your best life. So again, karma goes to the person that deserves the karma. And that's any type of karma. And what we see here is you were true to yourself. And Spirit says, yeah, and the world's always going to tell you that you're not when you are taking care of yourself. And so you learn that lesson. Don't ever let anyone oppress you. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know. Oh, well, should I leave it there? No, Spirit says you need to pull the one more with energy card. I almost forgot. All right, one more. Spirit leaves off with one more. Again, take it one step at a time. See the mountain ahead and dedicate yourself to taking one small step at a time. Make progress by staying focused on the present moment, the current task, and regain your ease of living. So Spirit says, don't focus on the past, obviously, because, people were not nice. They perceived you to be a certain way. That's their issue, not yours. And just be in the present moment. Focus on what you're doing and understand no one can stop you. Only you can stop you. Be true to you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.